Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we are discussing about King Puranjana. He is actually us who are given this body and then facility to enjoy. So especially this section of Bhagavatam is trying to help us come out of the pious mentality. There is uh, we may not do sinful activities, but even pious activities, they are also cause of bondage. So basically, this is the most important thing that is discussed here. And King Pachani Parashat was actually he is a very pious person. He was doing things according to the Shastra only. But it is like Yamimam Pushpitam Vacham Pravanti Avashyatah Vedavadarata Partha Nanyata Sthiti Vadana. They are interested in very pious activities, but and going to heaven and enjoying there. They don't understand the spiritual values. So that was the main problem with King Prachana. So Narthaman is trying to help him come out of that situation. So I'll just share the screen for you. So here we wanted to understand how to come out of it. So he had three situations. First thing is he was given a body and the kingdom. Second, he had wife and then all the senses and sense gratification which he was doing. So that was the second section. And the third section is now you have enjoyed. Now you are going to face death. And that is the most tragic part of our life, where we are going to face death. And even if we don't want also, there is no option for us. We have to pay a big price for all our enjoyment. The more we have enjoyed, the more it will be difficult to give up this body. That is the problem. So now, if I have not enjoyed like the multi millionaires, we will not have that much pain which they will face when they are leaving the body. So that is an advantage. So there is no loss that I did not become a millionaire. Not a issue. At least you saved from the pain of that. So that means, but if somebody has practiced bhakti, no, all situations he is safe only. If he is a millionaire or if he is a normal person, bhakti is safe because that gives jnana and vairagya. The detachment comes naturally. So that is the advantage. But we have to see how dangerous it is enjoying in this world. It ultimately turns into pain. So what happened is last time's recording was not done. So I'll just revise for you this few this shlokas and then we'll go ahead. So here we'll just start how Puranjana is becoming woman in next life. So he was attacked. The great says Narada continued, my dear King Prachini Parishad. Afterwards, the king of Evanas, whose name is Fear itself, as well as uh, Prajvara, Kalakanya, and his soldiers began to travel all over the world. So we are telling the more one enjoys sex during youth, the more he suffers in old age. So this is what Prabhupada is telling. This Acharyas are telling we should take it seriously. So all these celebrities and all, no, they have more facilities like this to enjoy. But whether it is really enjoyment or pain, that we have to calculate. So Pasyanapina Pashyate, intelligent person understands. No, it's not enjoyment, it's pain only. So we are not taking spirituality uh, because we are failures, because we don't want to suffer. So that is the important thing we discussed. We are understanding the dangers. Like Hari Parshad Prabhu gives this analogy. He says, if you don't enjoy, you have pain. If you enjoy, you have pain. But if you don't enjoy, the pain is like walking on a hot sun. You have to walk a 2 kilometers without any wearing any chappal. You are walking on a hot sun for 2 kilometers. So you get blisters, the legs are burning. But that is, if you don't enjoy, also there is pain. Like, oh, I didn't get to enjoy this food. I didn't get enjoy to stay in such a luxurious house. I didn't get a opportunity to enjoy going around the world. But that is like that pain we experience when we don't enjoy is like we're walking on a hot sun getting blisters. But after enjoying, there is another type of pain. And that pain is like cutting the leg. Your leg is amputated. So now, what is more dangerous, losing the leg or just getting some blisters? So whenever we are enjoying, we should think either I want to remove my leg or I just want to have some burning of leg. So this is like so pain is there in both cases, but we have option. So when we are enjoying something, we have to think, okay, am I ready to pay for it? So this is actually what Prabhupada is telling. If you enjoy more, you pay more. If you enjoy less, we pay less. So it is safe that we don't enjoy and try to. So it's not that we are failure that we are taking to spirituality because we don't want to lose our leg. The pain is such a dangerous thing, and whoever is having this family life, no, there is enjoyment, but after that to come out of it is very painful. It becomes very difficult. So that's the point here. And then once the dangerous soldiers attack the king, so old age comes, Puranjana with great force. City of although city was full of paraphernalia for sense gratification, it was being protected by the old serpent. So when old age is coming, we cannot do anything. All the cosmetic industries, all the Ayurveda, health, and naturopathy, this so many people are flourishing. All are flourishing because people are fearful of death. They want to overcome death. All these yoga studios and whatnot. So many types of you see, so much search is there on health. Why health conscious? Actually, they are afraid of old age because, especially after 40s, people become more conscious because they are seeing body is not functioning for them. So, Prabhupada writes, as one body engages in steroid education, it becomes weaker and weaker daily. Finally, the vital force becomes so weak that it is herein compared to weak serpent. That means the mind is also becoming weak. That's what Prabhupada is telling. Within the vital, when the vital force within the body become weak, the body itself becomes weak. So the subtle energy is becoming weak. If you enjoy it, it's not that my body, it's the mind that is the energy that is becoming less. And because energy is going, body starts becoming weaker. So that's what Prabhupada is telling. According to Vedic system, before coming to such a state, one should leave home and take sannyas to preach the message of God for the duration of life. So as soon as one reaches 50, he still has energy. Instead of using it for sense gratification further, he can use in Krishna's service. In that way, he is saving himself and family also. Everybody is saved. So that is the point. Of course, Prabhupada has many things to share. We will not be able to take all. We have discussed all these things previously. Gradually, Kalakanya, with the help of dangerous soldiers, attacked all the inhabitants of Puranjana city and thus rendered them useless for all purposes. So then the senses become completely useless. Prabhupada is stating at fag end of life. When the invalidity of old age attack a man, his body becomes useless for all purposes. Therefore, Vedic training dictates that when a man is in his boyhood, he should train in the process of brahmacharya. That is, he should be completely engaged in service of Lord and should not in any way associate with women. That makes him very strong mentally. That is what Prabhupada is telling. Husband and wife may go. Then Prabhupada is telling how they should take vanaprastha and other things. When Kalakanya, the daughter of time, attacked the body, the dangerous soldiers of the king of heaven entered the city through different gates. They then began to give severe trouble to all the citizens. So that means all the bodies are mean. And Prabhupada says the body has 9 gates. When one is harassed by invalidity of old age, various diseases manifest at the gates. So not that devotees don't get disease, but their mind is strong. Strong in the sense they are detached from the enjoyment. Say now I want to eat, and then doctor says no, you cannot eat such and such food. Now, if I have a strong desire to enjoy, then it is so painful. If doctor says no, you cannot enjoy, you cannot eat this, then I'll not have problem. If I am not enjoying, I say okay, no problem. I can take. You cannot eat. They say you cannot eat some sweet and all. Then we say no problem. I without sweet also it will manage because I am not so attached. So if a person is detached, he will not have pain. If a person is attached, then only he will have pain, right? If I am attached to eating certain things and enjoying certain things, and then there will be definitely pain if I don't get it. But when we do bhakti, the detachment automatically comes. Like I was traveling I was coming today to here Hyderabad. So in the airport there are so many food items they are selling and all. But even when we see, we don't feel any attraction for it. If others they may be feeling because they want to enjoy because they say this is not prasadam but I cannot offer to Lord also. So what can I take? Let it be. So there is no pain that I did not enjoy, and it was easy life. So you cannot do certain things, so things becomes very easy. But if you want to do certain things and then not opportunity, that is very painful. So mind is strong for a devotee. We need to have that vairagya, which is very important. And then we were discussing when the city was thus endangered by the soldiers of Kalakarnya, Kung Puranjana became overly absorbed in affection for his family, was placed in difficulty by the attack of Yavan Raja and Kalyakarnya. So that the more one is attached, the more his mind is weak. That's another problem. So we cannot stop these things. It does not happen. Prabhupada writing, the proprietor of body, the living soul, becomes very sad at not being able to use the field of activity properly. So that is where person is becoming more. This happened to all of us many lifetimes. If we can do it this time properly, we'll not have to face that pain. When the king Puranjana was embraced by Kalakanya, he gradually lost all his beauty. Having been too addicted to sex, he became very poor in intelligence and lost all his opulence. Being bereft of all positions, he was conquered forcibly by the Gandharvas and the Yavanas. So Prabhupada writing that he gradually lost his personal beauty, intelligence, and good positions. All three finish. Puranjana then saw that everything in his town was scattered, and his sons, grandsons, servants, ministers were all gradually opposing him. He also noticed that his eyes also became the cold and indifferent. So we were discussing this is the most painful thing a person has when his wife becomes cold and indifferent because he is becoming old and invalid. So nobody cares because as long as you bring money, you are bringing sense gratification, people take care of you. Now the person may complain, Array, nobody is taking care of me, nobody is valuing me. That is your mistake. You should have left home before this situation have come. You didn't practice any detachment and you are crying foul now. You cannot do it. People are valuing you because you are getting money. Once you stop earning money, nobody cares. Nobody gives that value for you. Of course, if somebody is very pious and children are nicely trained, he may get some value. But if he does not get value, that is not anybody's fault. That is his fault. He should have left home or practice spirituality where he don't need any care. He just even if it's a home also, he's very detached person and he is just chanting whole day, eating two times, whatever little bit, and then whole day he's sitting and chanting and reading Bhagavatam. So why he needs any attention? you, if you, people are a disturbance if you want to do proper sadhana. If you are happy, whole day nobody disturbs you. You are in your corner and just chanting your rounds, reading your Bhagavatam. Nobody just two times you get your food. Such a luxury actually. So Prabhupada says when one becomes invalid, his senses, organs are weakened. In other words, they are no longer under one's control. So when a person is in a disease condition, even his family members, his sons, grandsons, and wives becomes disrespectful. See, this is no long. It is they no longer are under the command of master of the house. Just as he wish to use our senses for sense grade, senses also require strength for body in reciprocation. So Prabhupada is writing very heavy purports here. A man keeps a family for enjoyment, and similarly, family members demand enjoyment from the head of the family. When they do not receive sufficient money from him, they go disinterested and ignore his command or desires. This is all due to one's being a kripana, miser. So now who is at fault? The person is at fault. Now they are saying that, oh, they are putting me in old age home and all these things. Yes, why they will do if a person is not interested in spiritual. Of course, I am not telling it is right, but I am telling if this person is not interested in any spirituality and all, then it becomes more. It is like more difficult for them. Just they don't. You should not expect anything. We should be detached and be peaceful. Grandchildren's birthday functions, granddaughters' saree functions, all these things are not needed actually. It is going to trouble them in future more. It is going to be more painful. Just be peaceful and chant your rounds, read Bhagavatam. Why unnecessarily take big headache and increase your? Now I'm seeing also some people doing in my own family, but I know how they are going to suffer in future. But we cannot tell them because they are elder to me and they don't understand also, unfortunately. But I can see that this is going to happen to them eventually. So Prabhupada is very merciful, very compassionate. He's telling. So mm, we get this facility in human form of life to understand this. But if we do not properly utilize this opportunity, we become kripana or miser. A miser is one who gets money but does not spend it properly. So Prabhupada is writing this very important point. When one's intelligence is spoiled due to sense gratification, he remains a miser throughout his life. So intelligence is spoiled by sense gratification. See, then King Puranjana saw that all his family members, relatives, followers, servants, secretaries, and everyone else have turned against him. He certainly becomes very anxious. But he could not contract the situation because he was thoroughly overwhelmed by Kalakanya. So, and he says the object of enjoyment becomes stale by the influence of Kalakanya. That is also another problem. The objects of enjoyment becomes stale by it. Actually, very systematically Narada is explaining how it happens. So first you become invalid. Next level, people become indifferent to you. Then third level is the objects of enjoyment become stale. Due to the continuance of his lusty desires, King Puranjana became very poor in everything. Thus, he did not understand the aim of life. He was still very affectionate towards his wife and children, and he worried about maintaining them. She don't have taste, but the affection is still there. So he was very affectionate. This is exactly of the position of a present civilization. Prabhupada is writing, everyone is engaged in maintaining body. Consequently, everyone becomes confused at the end of life, not knowing what spiritual life and goal is. So this should not happen to us. The city of King Puranjana was overcome by the Gandharvas and Yavanas, and although King had no desire to leave the city, he was circumstantially forced to do so, for it was smashed by Kalakanya. So, so the entire city is separated from the association of Supreme Lord. Try to enjoy this material world. He is given a chance to enjoy in a particular type of city, beginning with the body of Brahma to that of a microbe. So we get all types of body. From the Vedic history of creation, we can understand that first living creature was Lord Brahma, who created the seven great sages, and then all the things we have read this one. And the living entity wants to enjoy the material world in different ways. Therefore, by nature's law, he is allowed to transmigrate from one body to another. This is actually more, for me, this is a big question. Till now, I didn't get answer. That we see different types of species, right? So now when we see different, it is so interesting. Yesterday morning also I was in one park, so I was seeing different birds and all. I think what type of desire this living entity had to get such type of a body of a bird, such type very specific desire must be there to have such type of birds, such type of animals, such type of insects, such type of aquatics. No, what type of desire that is? It's quite complicating. But here Ropa is writing. Therefore, nature's law, he is allowed to transmigrate from one body to another, exactly as a plants and transmigrate. So we wish living entity wishes to enjoy material world in different ways. Like somebody is getting the body of a cuckoo. No, what is the desire of that person? You want to sing, take a body of cuckoo. But there are so many other type of birds. Some birds sing very sweetly. Some they just make some noise like crows and all. But I was still surprised about insects, about animals, about what type of desire the living entity must be having to get that type of body. And so there is anyway many stories related. And then we discussed about strong mind means good intelligence. Then there is discrimination. Then we see reality. So less attachment and there is only affection. Desire to serve, no sense gratification. Then there is proper ego and actions are good. So according to Varnashrama. So this is what is strong mind means. And so people are seeing reels, the attention is less. There is only increase of dopamine, which agitates the mind. So they get new information, but it is not actually proper information. It's only agitation of mind, the dopamine effect. That is actually what is happening. So, under the circumstances, the elder brother of Yavana Raja, known as Prajwara, set fire to the city to please his younger brother, whose other name is fear itself. So, according to Vedic system, a dead body is set on fire, but before death, there is another fire or fever, which is called Prajwara or Vishnujvara. Medical science verifies that when one's temperature is raised off to 107 degrees, a man immediately dies. This Prajwara or higher fever at the last stage of life places the living entity in the midst of blazing fire. So, this is where the we all got this fire many lifetimes, but again we forgot. When the city was set blazed, all the citizens and servants of the king, as well as all family members, sons, grandsons, wives, and other relatives, were within the fire. King Puranjana thus became very unhappy. That means his own body is getting destroyed. There are many parts of the body, the senses, limbs, skin, muscles, blood, marrow, etc. And all these are considered here figurative as sons, grandsons, citizens, and dependents. When the body is attacked by Vishnujvara, the fierce condition becomes so acute that sometimes one remains in coma. So Prabhupada is writing this nice important point. He says, this means the body is in such a severe pain that one becomes unconscious and can't feel the miseries taking place within the body. Indeed, the living entity becomes so helpless at the time of death, although unwillingly, he is forced to give up the body and enter another. So the Bhagavad Gita stated that when man may by scientific advancement improve the temporary living conditions, but he cannot avoid the pangs of birth, old age, disease, and death. So these are under the control of Supreme Lord. So a foolish person cannot understand this simple fact. Now people are very busy trying to find petroleum in the midst of ocean. They're very anxious to make provisions for further petroleum supply, but they do not make any attempts to ameliorate the conditions of birth, old age, and death. Thus, a person is in ignorance, not knowing anything about his own future life, is certainly defeated in all his activities. So, one time, one lecture proposes that person is so attached to body, he don't want to leave body, so he goes into coma. One of the reason of coma is that at the time of death, he is supposed to leave the body, but he is attached to it. So then he sent into coma like that. The city superintendent of police, the serpent, was the saw the citizens were being attacked by Kalakanya. He became very aggrieved to see his own residence set ablaze after being attacked by the Yavanas. So, and he says the living entity is covered by two types of bodies. So here, the so-called science of modern age cannot see the settled body is working, is carrying the soul from one body to another. So this is the problem. They don't see, they believe in what they see. At least they should able to see with their instruments. But we cannot see some things by instruments. We can understand them, like emotions, feelings. You cannot have any instrument to measure how much angry I am now. You cannot measure it. So, but still I have anger. Like similarly, there are some things which you cannot measure, but scientists now they are very cross. They can use technology, they can use their level of consciousness is that much only. They are intelligent at their level, that's all. But they are not spiritually intelligent. We should understand this fact very clearly. They are intelligent, but because their level of consciousness is still matter, so they are intelligent at matter level only. They cannot go beyond that. At matter level, they can create many things, they can do wonderful things. But when it comes to settle things, they have zero intelligence. So some may be like that's why if we are understanding spirituality at this level of consciousness, we are intelligent than scientists also. We can happily say that. So at level of different levels of consciousness, that is more important. Like say if a person is he is studying in a very famous university and all, but if he's very selfish, he's very mean, and if he's very cunning and all these things, is he intelligent? Yes, he is intelligent. But when it comes to his level of consciousness, is very low consciousness. You're understanding. So scientists are also very intelligent, but the consciousness is low. So they are not, so similarly a person may be very kind hearted, selfless and all. He may not be intelligent like scientists, but his consciousness level is different. So we have to calculate things like that also. We cannot just so scientists when they are not understanding, please know that their level of consciousness is less. That's all. So they cannot understand. So Prabhupada is writing very nice point. When there is fire everywhere, the police superintendent cannot escape either. When there is security and an absence of fire in the city, the police superintendent can impose his authority upon the citizens. But when there is an all out attack on the city, he is rendered useless. As the life air was ready to leave the gross body, the settled body also begins to experience pain. This is very important. So the life air was ready to leave gross body, settled body also began to experience pain. This is a that's why we say 22,000 or 24,000 scorpions biting. So that much painful it is, very painful. And then, as a serpent living within the cavity of trees wishes to live when there is forest fire, so the city's police superintendent, the snakes, wishes to leave the city due to the fire's severe heat. It becomes very difficult for snakes to leave a forest when there is fire. Other animals may flee due to their long legs, but serpents only being able to crawl are generally burnt in the fire. At the last stage, the limbs of the body are not at all are not as much affected as the life air. So this is this is the state of affairs for all living entities. We very graphically explained here. I think there is no other place such a graphic description of death is given. Old age and death, such a nice it's not nice, but detailed description is given. Nobody likes it. The limbs of the serpent's body were slackened by the Gandharvas and Yavanas soldiers. They had thoroughly defeated his bodily strength. When he attempted to leave the body, he was checked by his enemies, being thus baffled in his attempt, he began to cry loudly. This, at the last stage of life, the different gates of the body are choked by effects of disease, which are caused by an imbalance of bile, mucus, and air. Thus, the living entity cannot clearly express his difficulties, and the surrounding relatives hear the sound gurgur from a dying man. In his Mukundamala Sutra, King Kulashekar states, Krishna Tadiya Padapankaja Panjarantam Advaitave Mishutamana Raja Hamsa Prana Prayana Sapame Kapavata Pitto Kantavarodhan Vido Smaranam Kutasya. He says that at the time of death, my final breath, when my throat is choked up, how will it be possible for me to think of you? So that's what in old age, at the time of death, the throat sometimes becomes choked with mucus or blocked by air. At such a time, the sound vibration of Hare Krishna, the Maha Mantra, may not come out. Thus, one may forget Krishna. Of course, those who are strong in Krishna conscious cannot possibly forget Krishna at any stage of life. They are accustomed to chanting Hare Krishna, especially when there is a signal from death. So, this is very important. So, Prabhupada is telling very important point here. One may forget Krishna. So, at such a time, the sound vibration of Hare Krishna Mahamantra may not come, thus one may forget Krishna. So, so what we should do? We have to practice it more seriously. Otherwise, there is danger. So this is a very important understanding. So very we have to remember this can happen to devotees. But Krishna will protect, Guru will there. That's why we have to dedicate our life in the service of Guru. Guru will recommend, then we will not have problem. So the solution for this problem we will discuss. Solution is for this is serve Guru. He will recommend. So we need great recommendations so that even if time of death we forget Maha Mantra, so we will be saved. So this is the hope for us. If you didn't serve, if there is no recommendation, we are on our own, left on our own. So that becomes very difficult. So spiritual life means dedication to Guru. What service I did for Guru? Oh, I just earned my money. I ate and I cleared my stomach, and then I a little bit I chanted and I did some offering and I did arti. I read little bit. It won't work like that. You are just eating and doing your household things and then think that oh now Guru will recommend. Why he will recommend? He will not recommend like that. At certain age, we should take up seriously spirituality and do proper service to Guru. Dedicate our life. You have given sufficient time for your family. Now give sufficient time for Guru's service. If you don't do it, don't expect any big result. It is not anything superficial. It is very deep thing. If I am not ready to give my life to Guru, why will I go and serve Krishna in spiritual world? That is like very ridiculous. If we have not done anything for Guru here, what I will go and do for Krishna? You are not practiced only. So serving Guru is like practicing serving Krishna. So it is not some child's play. Oh, Prabhuji, I chanted my 16 rounds. I followed four regulative principles. And then I earned my money. I took care of my family. Now I should go back home. No, what did you do for Guru? So we have to have, okay, my Guru wants me to, uh, even if our action should preach. Prabhuji, I cannot speak much, but you can act in such a way that it is properly preaching. You are You are serving Krishna properly, that is also service to Guru. Like you are taking care of deities very nicely. You are chanting 64 rounds whole day. Either you serve the holy name, serve the deities, serve Bhagavatam. That is also service to Guru. But just bare minimum we are doing and expecting, it won't happen. It is not like that. At one point of time, family life should be bare minimum. Now, spiritual life is like minimum and family life is maximum. But it should come opposite. Bare minimum. 10% of our time family, 90% for Krishna. That is what service to Guru is. Then some chance is there that Guru will recommend. Otherwise, forget about it. So, King Puranjana then began to think of his daughters, sons, grandsons, daughter in laws, son in laws, servants, and other associates, as well as his house, his household paraphernalia, and little accumulation of wealth. It is not infrequent for a person overly attached to the material body to request a physician to prolong his life at least for some time. If the so called scientific physician is able to prolong one's life for a few minutes through the use of oxygen or other medicines, he thinks he is very successful in attempts, although ultimately the patient will die. This is called a struggle for existence. At the time of death, both the patient and physician still think of prolonging life, although all the constituents of the body are practically dead and gone. So, this is the problem. It's not, spiritual life is not for everyone, it is for very serious people. And then they can come out of this situation. King Puranjana was overly attached to his family and conception of I and mine because he was overly attracted to his wife. He was already quite poverty stricken at the time of separation. He became very sorry. So this overly attached. So it is not the mistake of women. It's a mistake of man only. 100% man's mistake. Important to understand. So nobody can blame. This is 100% man's fault. He is overly attached to his wife, and he was quite already quite at the time of separation becomes very sorry. Who is fault? Man is fault. He didn't practice spirituality. So why you should blame woman? Oh, because of her. No, it is you. So when I go home, I tell to my father, become detached. I'm telling you are wasting your life. Don't be attached to mother. I tell you. So it is clear in this verse that the time of death through thoughts of material enjoyment do not go away. This indicates that the living entity, the soul, is carried by the subtle body, mind, intelligence, ego. Thus, due to false ego, the living entity still want to enjoy the material world, and for want of material enjoyment, he becomes sorry or sad. He still makes intellectual plans to further his existence, and therefore, although he gives up the gross body, he is carried by the subtle body to another gross body. The transmigration of subtle body is never visible to materialize. Therefore, when one gives up gross body, we think that he is finished. Plans for mental enjoyment are made by subtle body, and the gross body is the instrument for enjoying these plans. Because of long association with gross body, the living entity becomes very sad to be separated from it. So this is even separating from our house, separating from the place we are living, even the place where I spent my school times. So when I feel little separation. So I went many years back. I was in ashram only. So I went many years back. Then I was feeling all separation from the place, the village where I stayed, the school ground and school. I went and visited all the places and decided rest of my life I'm not going to come here. And so, and that was like I understood that this is all foolishness. Why should we attach to these places? Because there's so much emotions connected to it. So that is all false ego only. That the emotions and all, it's all false ego. Of course, we are not like jnanis who are very harsh in this. But as bhakta also, we should take which are favorable. So these are not favorable things to us. So that's why we should accept it. Okay, that is not favorable to me. I'll not do it. That's all. So the mental activity of living entity obliges him to accept another gross body and continue their mental existence. So if I keep that false ego, then I have to take another body. So there is no way. The Sanskrit verse 3 means expansion. Through the wife, one expands his various objects of attraction, sons, daughters, grandsons, and so on. Attachment to family was becomes very prominent at the time of death. One often sees that just before leaving his body, a man may call for his beloved son to give him in charge of his wife and other paraphernalia. He may say, "My dear boy, I am being forced to leave. Please take charge of the family affairs." He speaks in this way, not even knowing his destination. See, such a foolishness. Arey, you don't know where you are going. You are thinking of the people whom you are like. What a foolishness. So, like one person was dying. So he said, "Oh, where is my wife? Where is my wife?" Then the wife said, "Oh, I am here only. I am here only. Don't be calm, be calm." And then they say, "Where is my elder son? Father, I am also here only. Be calm, no problem." Then he says, "Oh, where is my second son? Father, I am also here only. Be calm, don't worry." And they say, "Where is my third son? Oh, Father, I am also here only. I am also here only. Don't worry." Then he says, "Oh, if all are here, who is at the shop?" And he died. So he's more worried about the business when he's dying. So this is how the people attachment is. Which a foolishness. Of course, I am not having that realization so much, but I am telling what is the fact there. So don't think. King Puranjana was anxiously thinking, "Alas, my wife is encumbered by so many children. When I pass from this body, how will she able to maintain all these family members? Alas, she will be greatly harassed by the thoughts of family maintenance." So Prabhupada, see, Prabhupada is able to write all these things heavily because he left home. He took sannyas. So he's not at all, he followed it strictly. That's why he's writing. So Prabhupada has all rights to write these points. All these thoughts of one's wife indicate that the king was overly engrossed with the thoughts of women. Generally, a chaste woman becomes a very obedient wife. This causes a husband to become attached to his wife and consequently thinks of his wife very much at the time of death. This is very dangerous situation. You see, Prabhupada is giving such a great warning. This is very dangerous situation, as is evident from the life of King Puranjana, because if one thinks of wife instead of Krishna at the time of death, he will certainly not return back to Godhead, but will be forced to accept the body of man, and thus began another chapter of material existence. So then see how very graphically things are mentioned. King Puranjana then began to think of his past dealings with his wife. He recalled that his wife would not take her dinner until he has finished his, that she would not take her bath until he has finished his, and that she was always very much attached to him, so much so that if he would sometimes become angry and chastise her, she would simply remain silent and tolerate his misbehavior. This is dangerous. Dangerous. The Prabhupada is writing, a wife is always supposed to be submissive to her husband. Submission, mild behavior, and subservience are qualities in a wife which makes a husband very thoughtful of her. For family life, it is very good for a husband to be attached to his wife, but it is not very good for spiritual advancement. Thus, Krishna consciousness must be established in every home. If a husband and wife are very much attached to one another in Krishna conscious, they will both benefit because Krishna is the center of their existence. Otherwise, if the husband is too much attached to his wife, he becomes a woman in next life. The woman being overly attached to her husband becomes a man in next life. Of course, it is an advantage for a woman to become a man, but it is not at all advantage for a man to become a woman. Hare Krishna. So, any questions, comments? Something in the chat. Oh, are we recording today's class? I think I don't know. Yes, Gaurang Gopinath.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanvat Pranam. Prabhu, you were
Dhanvat
talking
pranams.
about, yeah, Hare Krishna. Prabhu, you were talking about the different kinds of desires, and people fall into different type of living entities, species of life. If suppose a person's a jiva's desire was so poor that it fell into a very lower species, and for that jiva to come back to the human form of life has to undergo the process, Prabhu, from one to next, or it can come directly to human birth after finishing that desire.
He can come like that. But we don't know how many desires we have. But like Bharat Maharaj's case, only one desire, he just became deer and came back. So if you in I was in Garuda Puran and all, it says that this person performed this sinful activity, he will get the body of a lizard for 7 lifetimes. He'll get a body of a dog for 3 lifetimes. He will become a prostitute in one lifetime. He'll become this. So immediately they transmigrate to one form to another. So they need not go from all the species one after another. That is not needed.
That's not needed, no, Prabhu.
No, no needed.
Okay. Prabhu, I'm sorry, I know a little, but I want to know from you. If I'm not taking your time, can I ask this question?
No, no, no. I have time. Question answers time only.
So, can I ask you? Okay, okay. Because they say
Yeah, yeah,
this
please.
material world is like an ocean of misery or Bhava Sagar. So, is it said that because once you come here, you get entangled in different types of desires, so that you are not able to get out of this place and think about the Lord? What exactly does Bhava Sagar mean?
Oh, Bhavasagar means like ocean. Ocean means you cannot cross ocean. It's like you are always. It's so difficult to cross over. That means this family life, family encompassment, and all these things, they're very difficult to cross over. You'll get so much overwhelmed by it that one after another, then there is when the children are born, their education, and then after that you have to take into their careers, then their marriage, then grandchildren. I know I just recently
No,
attended one marriage. I was
yeah.
seeing how this Prabhuji, who is like so difficult.
Yeah, Prabhu, I understand.
It's like
So,
ocean only, you cannot cross over.
no, the all these material
Yeah, you
activities are
understand more than
keeping
me.
the jiva busy. Busy. All these activities are keeping a person busy. Not about thinking about the how to escape from here. Something like that.
Not only, yeah, busy also, and his mind is completely
Or we,
engaged in it. And
or we
even
get,
if you want to come out also,
or we are,
no,
or we are
no,
entangled with
even
much
if you
more
want to come out,
desires.
it is so difficult for him. Na? That is the point.
Yeah, that is the point, because he get entangled.
I'm
And
not able to hear
also,
this.
Prabhu, Prabhu, can you hear now? Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
You're able to hear me now?
Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Prabhu, that's what all these engagements keep a person in this world, and as well as one desire leads to another desire. Oh my God, I'm not able to. Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes, Mataji, I'm able to hear.
Huh. Prabhu, is it that we get entangled in so many desires also?
Mataji, your voice is breaking in between. I don't know. Maybe my problem or your problem.
Prabhu, can you hear now, Prabhu?
Yes, yes, yes.
Prabhu, that's what we get entangled with all these different responsibilities and which we are not able to come out as well, and we are different types of desires are cropping up and entangling us more.
Actually, different activities, all these things are big entanglement. So this is there, Mataji. Family life is like that only. Entanglement because of desires, entanglement because of responsibilities, entangled of because of emotions, entangled because of our own weaknesses. So many things are there. It's very complicated. That's why it is Bhavasagar. We are not able to hear your voice very clearly. I don't know why.
Prabhu, even now, is it like that?
No, it is breaking, Mataji.
Oh, Krishna. Okay, Prabhu, I'll not take your time. I'll ask maybe next time. Or I'll send you a
Ha,
personal
yes, Mataji.
question.
But today,
I'll,
uh, voice message you can send me. I'll answer in tomorrow's class. Then.
sure, Prabhu, sure.
You
Thank you,
send me voice
Prabhu.
message.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Sir. Thanks. Okay, thank you all very much. Today some technical issues. We'll meet tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.